The Punch TV. Adolfo no mama makwa baba ye the Punch TV so make sure say any day di kan na dey hwe channel ya na che say obe subscribe dey ama ye no like no share we so abeja wadwen che e comment section ho enso e dey aka ye ho abusuafo say wa onim say the Punch TV dey ba na current stories ne political affairs bia say the Punch TV dey dem ba kope abusuafo so amle america say story be flow so abebo for mama che say apai ama che say gentle ha obi e twene sere ne abasa abusuafo mma yenko hwe story ne mra ye ba ye de mu nchiremu nyina ebebrem.
Now, on this occasion, I'm going to begin with my guest in the studio, and to begin with Eduji Tamaklo. People have said you chose Professor Jane Naana Opoku-Agyemang the last time, and she didn't add much to your ticket. The women groups and advocacy groups all praised the NDC for putting a woman at the top. Very first time in the history of this country. And yet it didn't translate into votes. What you need are votes.
Any assertion that the choice of Professor Jane Naana in the year 2020 did not add much to the NDC ticket is not one that is backed by data. The evidence will show that within the space of 4 years, the NDC had moved in terms of vote from a little over 4 million to 6.2 million. It will be difficult at this point to try to disaggregate and say that it is this person that brought this much of vote or this other person. What is not in doubt that the NDC vote overall appreciated in excess of 2%. And that for me is significant. It's also important to make this point that if you look at Ghana's demographics, women still constitute the largest in terms of voting bloc and even in terms of the numbers. And so any political decision to have a female partnering the male, obviously, for the purposes of political power, I think is a very strategic decision, ought to be applauded. And like H.E. John Dramani Mahama indicated...
You need votes, not applause. That's the question.
No, what I'm saying is that it is when people accept the integrity of the ticket, the viability of the ticket, that is when they will offer
the Punch TV.
And that is why I'm saying that if the ticket is not good, if people do not, as it will, give the support, they will not even do the actual vote for you. And so, as it stands now, we are very confident that with Professor Jane Naana Opoku-Agyemang, a woman of impeccable integrity, a woman that has demonstrated loyalty, great working relationship with the party, above all, with her excellent academic standing. But this decision was not even taken lightly. What H.E. John Dramani Mahama did was to engage the services of internal and external pooling or researchers. And what they basically did, the two works, the external researcher, the internal researcher, basically there was a consensus how overwhelmingly should add more vote to the ticket. We are very confident that the ticket, that's H.E. John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jane Naana Opoku-Agyemang, have the capacity to deliver one-touch victory in the year 2024. We are not saying that because we believe...
You had the same confidence the last time, right?
Notwithstanding. And you see, what is the history? In the year 2008, Mr. Akufo-Addo presented Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. They were roundly rejected. In the year 2012, Nana Danko Akufo-Addo repeated Mahamudu Bawumia. They were also rejected. That is what took them to court, if you recall. And so it is not the case that a ticket instantaneously must deliver victory.
Right.
There is veritable evidence, and like I've just demonstrated, but we are very confident that in 2024, regardless of whatever it is, we are going to win the election. And by the grace of the Almighty God, Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang would have that enviable record of becoming the first female vice president of this republic. And it is something that we can do together.
Richard,
and
Professor Opoku-Agyemang says that, I am not one to take lightly the confidence reposed in me. Neither am I oblivious of the national decay and widespread despondency in our beloved country. I express my absolute readiness and commitment to partner His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to serve the people of Ghana with integrity, dignity, truthfulness, hard work, and patriotism to reposition our dear country as a beacon of hope and opportunity. The NDC has been projecting integrity, dignity, truthfulness, hard work. They say there is no mud that the NPP can find and throw at her. So you are in trouble.
You know, NUG like complete energy when he was talking about this matter. Because, why? We knew the NDC was losing this election with the selection of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as their flag bearer. But what sealed it for them was the re-nomination of Professor Naana Opoku-Agyemang as the running mate. All it is that they have brought forward the old, the rejected, that which did not prove acceptable to Ghanaians, and so therefore was rejected. And so, energy, that's similarly. Oh, please.
No, hold on.
Wait.
I didn't invite. We just may have the opportunity to say the last word.
The point is that they have nothing to offer. The last time they tried it, their vision was roundly rejected. But for me, I like to, in expressing my eternal support for female participation in our politics, to say that, yes, it's okay, it's a good idea to bring women along, but it's not sufficient when the emphasis is not on, I want to be very careful here, when the emphasis is not on adding value. Because we know that the former Minister for Education, when she was there, the catastrophe she left was mind-boggling. It was under her that even chalk was hard to come by in this country. It was around when she was minister that it was difficult even to get our kids chalk to write in the classroom. And so all the matters related to the reversal of established education support policies relative to the teacher trainee allowances that were rolled back, I don't see her coming with any vision.
You don't have a vice presidential partner yet, and it is suspected that your vice presidential person will come from people who are already deep in the politics, and they'll be mad.
No, I mean, it's not a question of mad. That's for mad. Right? In Mohammed, people found mad on them to throw. So it's not even a question about that. It's about the person's performance and track record.
Okay.
This track record we are talking about exudes no confidence. It's one that was rejected, and so therefore there's nothing to write home about.
But he just told you.
In relation to that.
Akufo-Addo Bawumia rejected how many times?
Is it forgetfulness?
No, just hold on. I'll tell you more plainly. Talk about 2008, President Akufo-Addo's loss. Is it anything comparable to NDC 2016-2020 loss? Zero.
But they made a recovery at the last time.
Hold on. There is no comparison in that. Even their best performance in terms of losing is nothing close to the margin with which President Akufo-Addo lost the two elections.
Okay.
So that is not even a comparison to be made.
I've just about
but the
5
point
minutes
is,
to share between my guest on.
So let me just make the point to you. But you see, my disappointment is that in supporting the female population or female politician in the NDC or in the MPP, I think that to make that history, the flag bearer of the NDC should have done a bit better, because there are women in the NDC, proven women in the NDC, younger, more energetic, but we are looking, he was the NDC that was making the case a while ago that President Akufo-Addo is old and therefore they are youngish and all of that. Lawyer Marietta Brew, relatively young, energetic, Madam Hanatete, where is she? Energetic, proven, where is she? My old sister Anita Desoso, young, solid. Where are these people? Why does he feel that he must be stuck with the generation that has gone behind and record?
Sorry. Thank you, but I'm running out of time. Let me get my guest some minute each or so. Now, Professor H.Kwesi Prempeh, of course, Professor Na Afali Sakefio was the first to be nominated a vice presidential candidate, and then Bridget Jubonuku also was a nominated, appointed vice presidential, candidate. But when it comes to the two major parties who have the potential to form government, this is the first time. From where you sit and the advocacy you do, how does it look?
Well, I think the flag bearer of the NDC has basically done what in the clip I think Joshua Alabi of the NDC was saying, that this for him is the best selection for this election, right? So basically stay the course. It's a safe choice. It doesn't basically ruffle feathers in the NDC any further. If he departed from his 2020 choice and went for a new face, there would be so much read into it. It would be seen as, basically foreshadowing or presaging the 2028 election in terms of who would be the front runner for the NDC and the like. So I think by staying the course and playing it safe, he basically stops any further disruptive politics within his party. But I think he's also used it, as he did in 2020, as most presidential candidates would use the vice presidential slot, which is to try and fill a gap in their own background to appeal to a constituency that they do not represent very well. So in our politics, it tends to be ethno-regional. We make ethno-regional, we use the vice presidential slot for ethno-regional balancing. In this instance, he gets that. The central region is a very important pathway to victory for the NDC in every election. And so he takes care of that. But also, I think, in terms of the demographic votes, the women's votes, he appeals to that. It would be interesting to see how the statistics stand up in terms of the women's vote in 2020. I don't know that we have any disaggregated statistics showing how the women's vote swung or what additional value that the NDC got from that. But I think that it is not an unusual choice, and it's not, it wasn't unexpected at all.
All right. Thank you very much. Dr. Kennedy, from where you sit, do you also applaud it, and do you think the applause will translate into votes?
Yes, I think it was a good choice. I happened to be a lecturer at UCC when she was vice chancellor, and she was generally considered a good vice chancellor. So I think that this is not a token choice. She's somebody who has had a substantive record of achievement, both as an educator and as Minister of Education. So we'll see how they do on the political hustings, but I think choice, and it will be interesting to see how he does with the women. Central region is an unusual region, even with Atamils on top of the ticket, they kind of still didn't follow the NDC as much as people would expect. So it is a region which is skeptical, and you have to earn the votes. They are not shy about going against one of their own. So it will be an interesting campaign.
Thank you very much. We've just run out of time, but having listened to everybody else, it's clear. It's clear, apart from the NPP's representative in the studio, it's a good decision.
There is overwhelming consensus at this table that the choice of Professor Jane Nana is the best choice under the circumstance. And we have factored all the demographics, the geopolitics of this country, and we are very confident once again that we'll win. I think that Richard Anyagba should have the benefit of reading Dr. Arthur Kennedy's book, Chasing the Elephant into the Bush, The Politics of Complacency. His level of complacency is demonstrated by his utterances. I mean, if in 2024 you want to do chalk politics, as late as 2022, there were issues about chalk. Is that how the conversation is going to be? Then we are ready for you. More than ready.
All right. Thank you very much. My guests have been Professor H. Kwesi Prempeh, Executive Director, Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD, Dr. Arthur Kennedy, physician, political activist, Godwin Eduji, Kujo Tameklo, Director, Legal Affairs of the National Democratic Congress, Richard Anyagba, Director of Communications of the NPP.
Abusuafo story no na yakohwe de aban na chese ensem koso Ghana ha ensem koso krom ha chese de hian se obenya o data na obeba ententan so abusuafo chese obetimi asre a obetimi adwa wani betimi agya na chese social media no so de o so bia etimi eba so se de nkofo ka se digital no Nien blaso na eso enche. Me a me di dwumade ho chia me frame Naana Agyemang. Nhumi so na frame NY ja meje so na mama piao. Peace out.
Yama owi akwa baba Mansa Media College. Mansa Media College a school power ya che TV so any radio so dwumadie. Ya so ye e wo Kumase atonsu. Baby a uwo bia o pese ba Mansa Media College a. Na be hu dwumadie ye di ni hono a. Yentie dwumadia edino Amansan Media College.
Say usua bribi wo media mu. Ana opese ohunu bribi biara efa media ho. Ensu eche kra.
Amansan Media College e wo homa.
Ye wa achechefo a wa kwadire yie wa de mu. Na in studio ni ye newsroom de edi twam. Wonsam twam no ye kire bribi ti se kasebo akenkan ni sinicha. Ni bebura ekeka ho. Wa multimedia mu nso ye kire bribi ti se Sini mfoni asiesie mfoni twa ni bebra ekeka ho ye betumi so aboa ama wo de na otwepe asunya bribi wo nkitahodie adwuma ahodo nyinaa mu esanse ye wo yankasa foni nti abri biara ye ma ya adesuafo kwan ma okọ yode ya twe won adesua dan mu no
ahwefo hu ekame ese obi biara a wole bosomtwe ase enim agbakosema efa nsuo hu menya abofra kitua bi wa ha ono so se onim agbakosema efa le bosomtwe hu
abusuafo ye mama kwaba eba Ghana Pages TV so emra so se the trending issues near koso ewo abe for time fidie ni so ebe somo Midi Naana Jane Opoku-Agyemang.
Amansan Media College. Ya ma de we hia bia wo nkotahudie mu.